All right, buckle up, everyone. Because if you've been watching the tech world lately, you know Google's Pixel 10 launch
Yeah.
feels less like a big reveal and more like, well, like Google just left their entire keynote script on a park bench.
Yeah, it's almost hilariously transparent, isn't it?
It really is. It certainly makes you wonder about their strategy here. Are they even trying to keep secrets?
It does make you wonder. You could argue it's, a deliberate move to get ahead of the rumor mill, maybe. Or maybe it just shows how hard it is to keep anything secret these days.
Right. Either way, it means we have a lot to talk about before the actual event.
Exactly. Loads.
It's like they're saying, here, have all the info, you inquisitive minds. But today, our mission really is to cut through that noise for you.
Mm-hmm.
We want to distill the truth from this flood of pre-launch info.
Mm-hmm.
We're diving deep into the Google Pixel 10 series, the phones, the Pixel Watch 4, the Pixel Buds 2a, the whole kit and caboodle.
A full lineup.
We're going to highlight the surprising bits, offer some real insights, and, try to have a bit of fun with it, too. We'll definitely unpack what these new Pixels mean for you, especially when you stack them up against the competition, like, say, Apple's iPhone.
And to do that, we've basically gathered everything we could find. Leaked ads, benchmark scores, even what people are saying on places like Reddit.
Yeah, the forums have been busy.
Oh, yeah. We want to give you the clearest picture possible before Google actually gets on stage.
Okay, let's kick things off with the Pixel 10 phones themselves. The sheer volume of leaks.
It's kind of wild. Do you think this is Google being, strategically open, maybe trying to tempt some iPhone users over early? Or is it just chaos?
Huh. Well, what's really fascinating is that it strongly suggests this is a refinement year for Google.
Ah, okay. Iteration, not revolution.
Exactly. The design of the Pixel 10 series looks pretty much identical to last year's Pixel 9, which, depending on who you ask, is either smart, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, or maybe a bit of a missed opportunity for something fresh. I get consistency, but in a market that moves so fast, doesn't sticking with the same look risk feeling a bit stale?
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to grab attention from, Apple, who usually tweak their designs each year.
That's a really valid point. There are some minor chassis changes, apparently, just slight dimension tweaks. Yeah, which could be annoying if you have existing accessories. So if you're upgrading from a Pixel 9 and thinking, great, my cases will fit, spoiler alert, probably not.
Ugh, of course not. That's the classic move, isn't it?
Yeah.
My perfectly good collection of phone cases, useless overnight.
Happens almost every time. It's those little practical things that can really frustrate people.
Definitely. But okay, if the design is mostly the same, where's the real innovation? Has to be under the hood, right?
The engine.
Presumably, yeah.
Let's talk about the brains then. The Tensor G5 chip. Everyone's sort of been hoping that Google's own silicon, now being made by TSMC, the wizards behind Apple's chips too, will finally hit those top-tier performance numbers. Are we there yet? Is this the year? Well, almost. Not quite. The benchmark results we've seen for the Pixel 10 Pro XL do show a pretty significant uplift over the last one.
Okay.
Like 21% better in single-core tests and a big 46% jump in multi-core. That sounds great on its own.
46% is chunky.
It is. However,
Okay.
and here's the context, if you compare those scores, it still seems to lag behind Qualcomm's latest, the Snapdragon 8 Elite.
The chip we'll see in phones like the new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra.
Exactly, and gaming phones like the Red Magic 10 Pro. So faster Pixel, yes, but still not quite leading the pack on raw speed benchmarks.
So it's faster, but not blow your socks off faster compared to the competition.
Yeah.
And Google just okay with being good enough on speed.
I don't think it's about settling. It seems more like a strategic choice. Google's whole philosophy, what they've been saying, isn't really about topping benchmarks anymore.
Right, focus on AI.
Precisely. They talk about efficiency and use cases specific to Google smartphones. They're basically trying to define performance differently, focusing on how well the chip handles their AI stuff on device.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's kind of like Google's saying, look, we're not building a drag racer, we're building a really smart marathon runner who maybe stops for an AI-powered snack break now and then.
Huh. I like that. An AI snack break. So they're prioritizing things like maybe real-time translation or photo processing over just raw gaming frame rates.
That seems to be the bet, yes. Sustained AI performance integrated deeply rather than just peak benchmark scores.
Well, that leads us perfectly into the actual AI features then. If they're building this AI marathon runner, what can it do? The leaked ads hint at some stuff.
Yeah, some interesting concepts.
We've heard about Gemini Live. That sounds like you point your camera at something, like a coffee machine, and it instantly tells you about it.
Right, real-time object recognition and information retrieval.
And Coach Photo. That sounds like having a little photo expert in your pocket giving you tips on framing or lighting as you take the shot. That actually sounds potentially really useful.
It does sound promising, but it also brings up a big question. How much do people actually want or use these AI features day to day?
Yes, that's the million-dollar question.
We've seen chatter online, like on Reddit, where some people are asking, does anyone even use Gemini? But then others jump in defending the latest version, Gemini 2.5, saying it's way better than other AIs out there.
So a bit of a split opinion.
Definitely. It's clear Google is betting the farm on AI, hoping it can level the professional-grade photography field for ordinary users, as one leak put it. But whether users embrace it, that's key. It's their big differentiator against phones just pushing raw speed.
Trying to make AI the reason you buy a Pixel.
Exactly, not just a bullet point.
Okay, let's shift to cameras, because that's always been Pixel territory, right? Computational photography champs.
Historically, yes.
The base Pixel 10. It's apparently getting a third camera, a telephoto lens with 5x optical zoom. That feels like a big deal for the standard model.
It really is. That's something Apple, for example, still keeps for its Pro phones.
Exactly. But, hang on, some leaks also suggest the main sensor on that base model might be a step down from previous Pixels. What's going on there? Giving with one hand, taking with the other.
You're right to pick up on that nuance. The leaks point to the base Pixel 10 getting a 48-megapixel primary sensor, whereas the Pro models stick with 50 MP.
That's right.
But yes, it gains that 10.8 MP sensor with 5x telephoto zoom, which, interestingly, is apparently the same telephoto expected in the Pixel 10 Pro Fold.
And the Pro models. Any major camera changes there?
For the regular Pro and Pro XL, the cameras seem largely the same hardware as last year's Pixel 9 Pro series. The main upgrade is that the telephoto lens now gets macro photography capabilities, close-up shots with the zoom lens.
Okay, so the strategy. It feels like they're really confident in their software, maybe?
Yeah.
Adding reach to the base model, even if the main sensor spec drops slightly.
That's probably it. Google's betting that their computational photography, their AI smarts, can more than make up for a slightly different sensor spec on the base model while giving it that extra versatility of the telephoto. It really leans into their software-first, AI-first approach to imaging.
And what about this 100x zoom claim for the Pro phones? Because let's be honest, remember when other phones started shouting about 100x zoom? The results often looked like, well, a blurry mess. Like an impressionist painting done with pixels.
Exactly. We've all seen those shots. I remember trying one on a trip once, aiming at a landmark. Yeah, it was more abstract art than photo.
So Google claiming this, is their AI going to perform some kind of magic trick to make 100x actually usable? Or is it just a big number for the marketing?
That is the crucial question. Is AI doing some serious heavy lifting to clean it up, enhance details? Or is it just spec sheet filler? We've even seen some users, again on Reddit, complaining that recent Pixel AI processing can be too aggressive.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Some feel it makes photos look unnatural, over-sharpened, or boosting colors too much compared to older Pixels, like the much-loved Pixel 4 camera. They feel it kind of ruins the shots sometimes.
So it's that debate between technically perfect according to the AI and what looks naturally good to the human eye.
Precisely. It can sometimes feel like an automatic Instagram filter you didn't ask for. So yeah, the proof for that 100x zoom will absolutely be in the pudding, or rather in the actual photos.
Definitely need to see real-world examples. Okay, now here's something that could be really big for Android fans. Magnets.
Ah, yes, the magnetic attraction.
The Pixel 10 series is reportedly getting MagSafe-style magnets built right into the phone chassis, an entire Pixel Snap accessory ecosystem. Google would be the first major Android player to do this properly, right?
That is the understanding, yeah.
For years, Android users have just watched iPhone folks snap on wallets, chargers, mounts. Now Google's maybe saying, hold my Pixel, Apple, we're bringing bigger magnets.
Well, what's really fascinating here is the potential beyond just sticking stuff to your phone.
Right.
The leaks suggest full support for the new Q2.2 wireless charging standard. And get this, capable of up to 60 watts wirelessly.
60. Wow. Q2.2, that's the latest, fastest standard, right? And 60W, that's faster than many phones charged with a cable.
Exactly. For context, Apple's MagSafe is currently limited to 15W. So Google isn't just playing catch-up here. If this 60W figure is true, they could genuinely outpace Apple at its own MagSafe game.
That's a bold move. Suddenly, magnets aren't just convenient, they're about serious speed too.
Right. And for everyone who always says who puts their phone in a case anyway, well, now your case can be part of this magnetic charging powerhouse. It adds real utility.
Okay, Google's clearly not afraid to borrow good ideas.
Yeah.
Or maybe improve on them. What about another Apple move? Ditching the physical SIM card.
Ah, yes.
eSIM-only. The Pixel 10, 10 Pro, and 10 Pro XL in the US are reportedly going eSIM-only, just like the iPhone 14 did a couple of years back. I know that's going to wind some people up.
Oh, absolutely. It raises that whole convenience versus future trend debate again. For some people, eSIM is great simplified setup, maybe easier carrier switching.
Yeah, less fiddling with tiny bits of plastic.
But for others, especially international travelers, just grabbing a cheap local physical SIM when you land has always been super easy.
Wait,
Way easier sometimes than navigating eSIM activation abroad.
that's a very fair point. I've done that plenty of times.
So yeah, it's a clear push towards digital connectivity, following Apple's lead in the US market, but it's definitely going to frustrate a certain group who value that physical SIM flexibility. Worth noting, though, the global versions are still expected to have a physical slot.
Okay, so it's mainly a US thing for now. Good to know. Now, it's not just phones landing, right? We're also expecting a new Pixel Watch 4 and Pixel Buds 2a. What's the scoop there? Any major leaps, or is it more refinement for the ecosystem?
Seems like mostly refinement, but with some key changes. For the Pixel Watch 4, the design looks very similar to the Watch 2.
Okay, familiar look.
The big internal shift is apparently having Gemini AI built in. So you get AI-powered responses, text suggestions, that kind of thing, right on your wrist, really pushing that AI smartwatch idea.
Makes sense, tying it into their main strategy. What else?
The screen gets a lot brighter, jumping from 2,000 nits peak brightness up to 3,000 nits.
Wow, that's bright. Should make it much easier to see outdoors in sunlight.
Definitely. That's a common pain point, so welcome upgrade. Battery life sees a small bump to maybe 30 hours on the smaller one, 40 on the larger, with always on display. Still not challenging those multi-day battery champs like Huawei watches, though.
No week-long battery life then? Shame.
Not yet, no. But they are adding more workout modes over 40 apparently, and custom running plans. So a decent fitness boost.
Okay, solid watch update. What about the Buds? You mentioned the Pixel Buds 2a.
Yeah.
There's a potential price hike coming.
Yeah, that's the rumor. Expected to jump to $149, up from the $99 the last A-series Buds cost.
Ooh, $50 more. What do you get for that?
You gain active noise cancellation, which is good. That's a big feature missing from the previous A-series.
Okay, ANC is nice.
But crucially, it seems they won't have the more advanced Silent Seal 2 tech that the Pro Buds have, which is better at adapting to your ear shape for optimal noise blocking.
So it's ANC, but maybe not top-tier ANC.
Probably, yeah.
Hmm.
Battery life is quoted around 7 hours listening, maybe 20 total with the case. And importantly, still no wireless charging for the case itself at this price.
$149 ANC, but not the best ANC, no wireless charging.
Exactly. Given that price, you might honestly be better off keeping an eye out for deals on the Pixel Buds Pro 2. You might find them for not much more and get a better overall package.
Yeah, it feels like the 2A might be in a slightly awkward spot in the lineup at that price.
Could be. We'll have to see the final details.
Okay, so a bit of a mixed bag on the wearables. Let's circle back to the phones quickly. Beyond the big specs like chips and cameras, what about those everyday quality of life things? Battery, repairability, storage speed, charging. Any nuggets there?
Yeah, definitely some important details. On battery, while some models like the Pro XL boast the largest Pixel battery ever on paper, 5,200 milliamp.
That sounds huge.
It does, but EU regulatory ratings suggest the actual real-world performance under light use might be nearly identical to the Pixel 9 series. The ratings put the 10 and 10 Pro XL as B overall for battery life. The 10 Pro gets an A, but the estimated usage times are all within minutes of their predecessors.
So bigger battery numbers don't automatically mean massively longer usage, especially for average users. Interesting.
Exactly. It might help more under heavy load, perhaps, but don't expect miracles based just on the MAR rating.
Good expectation setting. Anything else?
Yes, some good news. Repairability seems to be getting a nice bump. The Pro models are reportedly moving from a C rating up to a B.
Oh, that's great. Easier and maybe cheaper to fix down the line.
Should be, yeah. Big win for consumers. Also, the Pro models are getting UFS 4.0 storage.
Which means faster.
Faster everything, basically. Apps load quicker, files save faster, the whole system feels smoother. UFS 4.0 is a significant speed increase for internal storage access.
Nice. And displays.
Displays across the board are getting brighter by about 200 nits compared to the 9 series. Again, better outdoor visibility.
Okay. And charging speeds, wired charging.
Getting a bump, too. Leaks suggest 29W for the base Pixel 10 and the 10 Pro, and the 10 Pro XL jumps up to 39W.
39W is pretty decent. My phone's around 25W now, and yeah, that extra speed definitely makes a difference when you're in a rush.
For sure. So lots of those smaller, incremental improvements that add up.
They really do. They might not grab headlines like a new camera, but they improve the daily experience. So what about price and availability? When can people actually buy these things?
Right, the crucial info. Good news on the base Pixel 10 pricing seems unchanged at $799.
Okay, holding the line there is good.
The Pro models, however, look like they're getting a $100 price increase.
Ouch. Why?
It seems mainly because the base storage is increasing to 256 GB. So the Pixel 10 Pro would start at $1,099 and the Pro XL at $1,199.
Okay. More storage, but you pay for it. Makes sense. And availability. When do they ship?
The core phones, the 10, 10 Pro, and 10 Pro XL, are expected to start shipping around August 28th. Pretty soon, actually.
August 28th.
But the Pixel 10 Pro Fold might be delayed. Some rumors point to maybe not until October 9th for that one.
A bit of a wait for the foldable fans then.
Seems like it.
All right, so let's try and wrap this all up. We've waded through the leaks, the benchmarks, the Reddit debates. What does this all mean for you, the listener? Google's clearly making this big, bold bet on AI. It feels like they're also inching closer to that sort of Apple-style integrated ecosystem with things like Pixel Snap magnets and going eSIM-only in the US.
Definitely feels like a strategic tightening of the hardware and software.
So is the Pixel 10 setting a new standard for Android by, smartly learning from Apple? Or is it really carving out its own unique path, banking everything on AI smarts, overcoming maybe any slight hardware gaps?
It's a fascinating question. Are they leading or following or maybe doing a bit of both?
Yeah. What parts of all this leaked info make you most excited? Does Pixel Snap tempt you? Does the AI focus intrigue you? Or are you maybe a bit skeptical about where Google's heading, maybe with the eSIM move or the camera processing?
Lots to think about.
Definitely something to chew on as we wait for Google to finally make it all official.